It's your boy Mike. Welcome back to another Dokkan battle video. So the community fest has just ended around 4 hours ago, and I was just able to get home. So I figured I'd go ahead and give my thoughts and opinions on the entire community fest, talk about everything that I was able to get, as well as just my overall experience, as well as the brand new game mode, since I was able to test it out and was able to see a lot of the gameplay of it, as well as experience it firsthand, right? So let's go ahead and hop straight into it. As a heads up, my drawings suck ass and I'm using a free website, so it's going to look pretty terrible. But let's try to get through this as just as much as I can, right? As much information. So basically, you're going to set up two teams. Team 1 is going to consist of Unit 1, 2, and 3, and Team 2 is going to consist of Unit 4, 5, and 6. Unit 1 and Unit 4 are all going to have their own leader skill. So Unit 1 will not give 4, 5, and 6 their leader skill, and Unit 4 will not give 1, 2, or 3 their leader skill. So that's the first thing. So basically, it's when it showed it in Dokkan, it was something similar to this, where it was like 1, 2, and then 3, and then it extended more, and past that was 4, 5, and then 6. So first off, already really good start because we can set our rotations, and then on top of us being able to set our rotations, you were able to set up what rotation actually goes first. So insanely good insanely good news, because I feel like that's a thing that we've always complained about for Dokkan, right? So that this is how like the UI looked on the bottom. I just put the 4, 5, and 6 up here visually, but it doesn't actually look like that, right? I believe the enemy was on the top. It's kind of just the same similar UI. It's just a regular gameplay, right? Then they removed the items and they replaced it with this swap box that I drew down here. And there is 3 gauges to this swap box, right? So similarly than to this box up here that we were just talking about, there is kind of like 3 gauges, right? And it's 1, 2, and 3, and you start off with all 3 gauges charged. So if you spend 1 gauge, it'll go ahead and just swap the team. So you go ahead and just swap 1, 2, and 3 with Unit 4, 5, and 6. So that's pretty cool. If you use 2 of the energies or 2 of the gauges, what it will actually do is it'll swap the units that we were talking about before. But then on top of swapping it, it'll also give Unit 1, 2, and 3 30% health back. So if a lot of your units are low on health and you want to swap them out while also giving Unit 4, 5, and 6 their time to swap in, that will go ahead and use 2, and then you'll just have it where it's like that, right? Lastly, we have gauge 3. If you use every single bar that you can of the swap gauge, not only will you just consume everything, so you won't be able to swap until a little bit later, but you swap over to 4, 5, and 6, and you get an attack buff for 1 turn. If I remember correctly, it was a 10% attack buff. Don't quote me on that, and the gameplay is not final, so I could always be wrong no matter what. But it would swap with the other team and then give you an attack boost for that team as well. So that's kind of the basics. The other thing too is that the enemy, which I drew attacking here with these little dots, of course, was Frieza, and had it where it was talking about you going against like going through the sagas. So we were fighting Frieza, and Frieza was getting stronger as time went on. It was Final Form Frieza, the AGL one that it was the Sideburner unit for S Tier Namek Goku, I believe. And he was fighting us, and he had it where every single turn, well, I don't think it was every single turn, but there was a second gauge specifically for the enemy that would fill up every, I would say, other turn. It's kind of weird, and every fight from what we were explained to is going to work differently. But this is going to be the enemy gauge, so we'll go ahead and quote this as E, right? The enemy gauge. And this was kind of like the danger meter in a sense. So the energy gauge for the Frieza was as follows. For the one, after you got the enemy gauge to 1 and he got stronger, you can no longer crit. So that was the first thing. None of your units would be able to crit anymore. Then number 2 was that you could not get it was, I believe it was, you could not do additional attacks. It was either you can't do additional attacks or you would not be able to gain buffs from super attack effects. And then 3 was whatever I just said, but the opposite of that. So we'll just say 2 was that you couldn't gain status effects from super attacks, and then 3 was like you couldn't do additional attacks anymore. And then it kept going on and giving more buffs and more buffs. So every single time that you would go, it would swap and give just him more gauge. But to cancel this out, unit 1, 2, and 3, or team 1, would actually have its own separate enemy gauge than unit 4, 5, and 6. So even though enemy gauges 1, 2, and 3 would be at like 4, it wouldn't matter, because if you swapped over and you used your swap meter, right, and you clicked on the swap button, it would go over to 4, 5, and 6, and that would immediately start at 0. So he would have no buffs. And then of course it would go down and get stronger as time went on. Let me try to think if there was anything else that I should also explain. Oh yeah, there was, I almost forgot about it. It's probably the biggest thing that I forgot. Every single unit now has its own HP. So let's just lower it down to like the hundreds instead of like the 100,000s. So every unit would have like 220 HP. The other unit, which was like AGLTUR, would have 140, and then the other unit would have like 240, right, depending on the stats of the unit, right? And if unit 1 dies, right, like they lose all of their HP, you cannot collect orbs with them. They do not benefit from just anything, right? Like the I believe domains still work, but like what would it matter in a sense? And they had like this whole list of things that once a unit dies they cannot do, like active skills, revives, etc., right? But even if unit 1 dies, unit 2 and 3 will still be alive, right? And you can move around unit 1 into unit 2 or unit 3's position. So you can still mess around with your rotations. So what I thought was pretty interesting is, let's say that you have AGL MUI, Tech Vegito, and AGL Gogeta, right? MUI dies because he's a fraud and doesn't dodge when you need him to, right? Even though he died in slot 1, you could still stick him in slot 1, leave Tech Vegito in slot 2. He gets the damage reduction from being in slot 2. And then AGL Vegeta or Gogeta would still get their slot 3 benefits as well. So I think that was pretty interesting, and it does give a lot more just strategy to the game in a sense. So once I defeated Frieza as well, which by the way was it was a little difficult, I'm not gonna lie. But to be fair, they like gave us some pretty bad units. It was a lot of just Frieza Saga units. It was like AGL full power, Tech, Gohan, and Piccolo. It was Int, Namek, Goku, and then the other swap was just AGL Ginyu, SR Rikumen Goldo, and then Int Jason Birder, right? It was 4, 5, and 6. But once you actually defeated Frieza as well, it had SR Namek Goku's super attack effect hit Frieza, and I think that was again more so the story and all of that as well. And the last thing that I could think of off the top of my head was that the difficulty was called survival. I'm not gonna draw that, that would be horrible. The difficulty was called survival at the end. So once we got to like the win screen and all that, and it was talking about like link levels that we got and everything, it said survival at the top. as a difficulty, and then it was the other stuff. Oh yeah, there was one more thing too that I should also say as well. The content that they chose was like insanely long, by the way. From what they showed, it was like 16-8, right? And the boards would look like this. It would be like, oh, you have to fight Final Form Frieza, and then it was like, okay, once you beat that, you can go face this stage. Okay, once you beat that, you can go fight this stage, which was like 11-2 or 11-3. All right, then you can go over here and you can fight this stage, 11-4, and then so on and so forth, right? So it almost felt like how like when when you're on the board of Dokkan and you would go to like just clicking on the board and all that stuff, it kind of sets it up like that, where it's like you would just go bouncing around from point to point after defeating all of the stages, right? Which, again, considering that it was like area 16 stage 8 or something like that, it looks like they have a decent amount of stages planned, which is definitely very, very cool. Now let's get into the big thing, right, which is the rewards. Actually, let me just pull this up. Let me see. Let me Dokkan info this real quick. Okay, so there was 3 cards, and I don't remember the third card off the top of my head that was shown as the rewards. It was, as you guys may all know, the STR Namek Goku that a lot of people are thinking it might Super Easy A or even get a Super Easy A during the anniversary, right? There was this card that was shown. There was the Gohan and Krillin card that was also shown as well. And then again, it was a third card. I just don't remember off the top of my head, unfortunately. And remember, they didn't let us take any video recording devices or anything like that into that. So it wasn't like we would be able to take a screenshot. I should have probably took out my notepad and started writing this stuff down. But we know this. Why did I pull up Gohan and Krillin? I meant Gohan and Piccolo. I meant to pull up Gohan and Krillin. Where are they? It's the AGL one. There they are. So it was this unit, the other unit, and then I don't remember the third one. The Gohan and Krillin had kanji on the left and the right side of the card art, and that was what one of the rewards would be of this new event, was that you would get new card art decorations for these characters. So it was the kanji on the left and right side for the Gohan and Krillin as one of the rewards. The Goku literally just turned into LR art. So the effects right here, right, like the red sort of aura that the Goku has would actually become animated, and I'm not talking about like the animation of they don't even have it on this website. I don't want to go to the other one. I'm not talking about the animation of like the sticker effects, right, where it like puts the wavy stuff on the actual aura itself. No. The aura would be animated, and it would like just be regular LR art. Like who would be like a really good representation of something like this? I'm trying to think of like an LR that had like similar like aura that was like just going around the unit. Maybe SCR Gohan. Yeah, it was kind of like that, but a little bit slower, where it was like the aura was just like building up and then going up from Goku. And it wasn't as fastly animated, but it was definitely super, super nice. And that was one of the rewards. Let me go ahead and pull up the Truth's tweets real quick, because I don't remember a lot of this stuff, and I do want to just check to see what he said as well. That way we can make sure that we went over everyone's. Nemo play was all Namek. Yep. New game mode where you move around seems similar to the type of map legends used for their events. Yeah, I would definitely say that for sure too. Where you move to each fight, you use a party of 6 characters. There's no friend unit used. Yes, there was no friend unit, by the way. The team is split up into 2 groups. Each group has their own leader skills active. Each individual character has their own HP bar. You get a game over only when all 6 characters have their HP reduced to 0. The characters have their... Oh, I'm so sorry. I just remembered. So the Dokkan attacks, one, it would build up faster. And the gauge was like right there, right? So the Dokkan attack would build up faster than usual. I'll just put DA. And then on top of that, once you actually built up the Dokkan meter and then did the Dokkan attack, you would actually get one of your gauges back too. So something that I had happened was I used two of the swap, I guess, like gauges in order to go into the Ginyu Force, right? So I only had one gauge left. And even after me having the one gauge left, after doing the Dokkan attack, it just gave me the second gauge, which was pretty cool. Let's see. You have the ability to start a turn to swap the second group. Doing this takes charge to use. You have 3 charges available, each in the intensity meter. Yeah, the intensity meter is what I was talking about, the enemy gauge. Eventually, you can cancel your ability to dodge, steal your super attacks, deal massively increased damage. You are so encouraged to swap groups to keep the boss from getting too powerful. After defeating the thing of the STR final form, after defeating the boss who is final form STR Namek Goku Spirit Palm animations, yeah. The words are customizable card effects. Both LRs and TRs were shown with the new effects. STR Namek Goku incredible. The other thing too was that I think this is going to be kind of meta changing, because if we just go ahead and pull up like one of the brand new units, which was the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku, for example, right? If we just go ahead and look at something like him, when there is passive in this card that's just like get blah 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 for 4 turns, this is no longer 2 appearances. This is for 4 turns. And then even on top of that, that means he can get his active skill on turn 2. Even on top of that, other characters also benefit a lot from this as well, because imagine that you have AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku, STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, or sorry, AGL Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and then AGL Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta on one rotation, right? And then you have like the Future Saga rotation on the other end. This counts during swaps. So even though the turn count would be increasing, and let's say it gets to turn 2 and then you're like, okay, let me swap. Not only is the enemy gauge going to be lowered, so it'll be at 0 now, but then also you're going to be able to get a lot of these buffs from these characters. So what had happened was when I was actually using this unit and I swapped over to the Ginyu Force, I played for like 5 turns with that. I swapped back over to the Namek Goku and the full power Frieza and the Tech Gohan and Piccolo team, and I used this because it was the 6th turn after that point, and because of that, we just immediately swapped over to Piccolo. So a lot of these units who have like some just unbearable conditions of doing that as well are just made a lot easier too. Oh yeah, it's just, Omatu was laughing when people were talking about LR Kid Buu and Daima as well. What else was it? Oh yeah, I just had to sit down with Amatsu, Ken, and Geppy. Good news coming soon on the most important issue, which is definitely Daima. But for this one, I can't say more than that. Yeah, special stage. It was so cool. Part 2 info coming. Then we got Broly's information. We can go ahead and talk about like his super attack effects, but I'm not gonna go over the animations. You guys can go watch the animations from people who have already posted it. Because I'm going to be so late on that I think it probably just doesn't matter anymore, right? But 12 key and 18 key raise attack and defense infinitely. On top of that, Broly gets 70% damage reduction on his first turn. He gets 30% damage reduction on his second appearance as long as it's within turn 3. He guards, he has 260% attack and defense. He gets 50% defense for every single attack performed. 1 key as well. And 20% crit chance up to 100%. For every attack received, he gets 1 key, 40% attack up to 300, and launches an additional attack that he launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super attack up to 4 times, by the way. For every single super attack that he performs, he launches for every single super attack that the enemy launches at the character, so the enemy that targets Broly and then does a super attack, you get a permanent 30% attack and defense that I believe is repeatable. When receiving an unarmed super attack as well, you have a 70% chance of nullifying it. You get 260% attack temporarily, and you counter with tremendous power. So he is pretty good, I would say. Offensively, he can definitely lack a little bit turn 1, because they showed 2 turns. Did Truth post it? Where we actually saw. No, they didn't post it. We saw I could pull it up though. We saw like a little bit of the attack and defense of this character, and it was pretty nice. Yeah, exploding range 220. 60% defense and foreseeing super attacks, and then directing it towards this character is also pretty cool as well. New challenging event. One every day that will come out for 14 days, so 14 stages is what they said. S tier Broly is getting an easy A. LR S tier Broly is getting a super easy A. Yeah, the producer's letter's coming out with all that. What else was there? Oh, let me go ahead and pull up the tweet real quick. Okay, so we have this little thing right here, which is just actually, do I not have my headphones turned on? I did not. So I can't hear this right now. I'm just gonna turn off the volume on my end, because I'm just gonna be talking through most of this, right? And I don't want to have it where it's just like too much. So we're talking about all that. We saw the animations, the special gameplay showcase. It showed that like Broly's defense on turn 2 was actually pretty good. I think it was like 2.5 million here, and that's just with Int Broly. What else is it? So they gulp. They showed the 10th to 4th place of the little all-out battle that they did as well. So it was a time attack. You had to try to submit the fastest time possible, and these people got first, second, and third. Then we had it where the next one, which was against the Battle Hard and Formidable Foes stage 10, we had the 10th to 4th, and it was kind of funny, right? So we can see here that I believe I got like 5 minutes and 12 seconds, right? That I submitted. Well, kind of a little bit of a spoiler, but to be fair, I tweeted it out earlier. 10th to 4th place was here, but they showed like a glimpse of the time attack standings, and I was in 4th place. So I don't know how I went from 4th place to 3rd place. I did submit a new time, but I didn't think it was that much faster than everybody else. And then over here, we can see it's me! It's me! I got 3rd place! Oh. I feel I'm gonna keep this video. Ah, look at this. Look at this big chud over here. I got my little Disney pack, dude. I am this is the first time I've got any award. I'm so awkward, dude. I can't. I didn't even like look at. I just like, it's so, I don't know. It was so awkward to me. But we got 3rd. I have no idea how this guy got 4 minutes, by the way. That was insane. Actually insane. We can go ahead and talk about the actual event itself and everything that was there. Give me 1 second to upload my stuff to Discord, and then I can go ahead and look at it. All right, we have a lot of the stuff pulled up. So we can see here that the event opened at 11:30. They had the stage preparation as well, special stage event closing and all that. They also gave us 7 tickets for attending the event on the Golden Frieza and Gogeta banner. And they actually had 2 periods of time. I believe it was at like 2 o'clock and like 12 o'clock that you would actually be able to go onto stage, connect your phone into the projector that they had, and summon on the tickets in front of everyone. And I believe 1 or 2 people actually pulled Golden Frieza and Gogeta. So it was actually pretty awesome. I haven't even used my tickets yet because I've been very scared. Hold on, I actually got to sneeze. Never mind, it's a fake sneeze. Wait, hold on, it actually is a real sneeze. No, it's not. Okay, I can't. It's like stuck in the back of my throat or my nose. There was 5 missions to get stamps for. Mission 1 was to find where the hidden Dragon Ball was. Actually, I'll just talk about all the missions. I actually don't remember which one it was for which. There was 1 mission that was taking some photos. Second mission was finding the 4-star Dragon Ball hidden somewhere around the event. The third one was doing a quiz. The 4th one was finding someone who either had a Gogeta or Vegito card on their front of their badge. Everyone got a Gogeta or a Vegito badge. You had to find the opposite one and quote-unquote complete the fusion. And then the 5th and final mission was to... Actually, I don't remember what the 5th final mission was. Let me see. It was quiz, take a photo, find the 4-star Dragon Ball. Wait, we already said quiz. Did I take a photo of the other thing? Let me see. No. I could look really quickly to see where it was. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm going to look at it real quick. To try to find it. Alright, so we're going to have to do face cam for this one. You can see here that this was like the little lanyard. I kind of took it apart because I just unhooked it. But you can see the lanyard actually gave what I was talking about earlier. I got the Gogeta one. And there was other people who got like Vegeta, like I was talking about, and you had to find the other fusion, and then that's how you would get one of the stamps. We can also see here that the... Oh, I was going to take something out of this. I know, it's good. The other stamp card as well. One with the stamp card, actually. Sorry, let me just pull this out of here. Once you got all of the stamps, you would get that, which was just the stamp just saying that you got every single stamp inside of the actual event itself. I had it where it was like your boy Mike. It had all the profile stuff. It would have been cool if they had it where it would have been like whatever you had in the actual game itself. But then again, I don't know when they would actually have reported that in a sense, right? But that was just for going into the actual event itself. You got this just from walking in. Then, if you completed every single one of the stamps, you actually got one of these towels, which is so cool. It's got all of the worldwide celebration units, or the global Dokkan celebration units. So we got over here, hold on, let me try to put my mic a little bit closer, sorry about that. We got over here the blues, and then we also have the Rose and Zamasu on the other side. So again, very, very cool. And also it's like a really nicely made, like it doesn't feel like it's cheap and then it's just something that they've kind of threw in. It actually does feel pretty cool. I actually don't know where the second one is of this, but once you actually did all the quizzes as well, you would get the little card right here. It's just like a little, just kind of flimsy card. Definitely something I'm gonna keep though, because it also has like the community festival like little stamp on the top as well. This was the like event info that I was talking about before, which talks about every single thing that was there as well as the venue itself. So we could see here that it would tell us the entrance and all that. The demo was right towards the start. Then it was the demo waiting area down here right next to the restrooms. Then it would actually be like a little corridor, like a little room that you'd have to walk into with the people waiting at this thing. And then you would have the actual stage itself with the snacks all on this side of the area. Then it was the photo shoots and the co-op quiz. Well, this one was more so like towards this area, I would say. And yeah, the prize exchange counter was just right there too, where you can get a lot of this stuff. They also gave this one for Omega. I don't remember what. I think it's still in the bag. But the bag is like on the floor right now. Give me 1 second. Let me just grab it real quick. Oh, well, there's half the other stuff they gave too. As you can tell, I am not really accustomed to doing a lot of face cam stuff, so that's kind of the reason why. This is also another thing that they gave you right as soon as you walked in, was just a Community Fest 2025 bag. Again, not like I want to say it's like the best quality, but it's also not cheap, because I've had cheap bags before, and this doesn't look like it's gonna rip anytime soon. This was the Omega card that I was talking about before. A really nice thing just to have, because it has the Community Fest on the top as well, similar to the Gogeta and stuff. And then after you actually beat all of these stamps as well, one of the other things that you would actually get, which I haven't opened just yet, was the Rose and the Super Saiyan Blues keychains. Another really awesome things to just have for free, all things considered. Because I was telling Minatos before I even went to this, I was like, I want to be able to get like a lot of this merchandise. I want to be able to buy merchandise of Dokkan and be like, You know, this is the keychain. I just have it like on me 24/7. I want to be able to have a poster and all that stuff, but they don't sell it. So I have to hope that I can win a giveaway or go to an event like this. Another thing that they gave was just a little thing to go inside of your lanyard as well that just shows that you were a guest there. And that's kind of about it. There's one more thing that I wanted to show all of you that I got for placing top 10. I'm sure that you guys saw it somewhere though. And I'm going to try not to get emotional. Well, oh wait, now hold on. I'm going to show the last thing before we do that, right? While we were walking out, they actually told us that we were getting this little art book as well, which is just every single one of the 10th year anniversary and beyond LRs. I believe it stops at right before the most recent ones. So it's physical Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. Then we have the fusions, as well as the Go Frieza. This one actually stuck together. Yeah, Python and Tien, dude. I can't believe we got that before inside of this. The last one was Kale and Khalifa. Wait, hold on. Please tell me there's one more. I don't want it to end on Khalifa. Yeah, it didn't. So then we have the Kale and Khalifa as well. We have the Goku and Vegeta. And the last thing that we actually have here was right before Int Gohan Trio. So we have the Zamasu and Rose, which is kind of funny because like they had a lot of stuff for Omega and Gogeta, and they didn't put them in here unless no, there it was. There was one more page. That's what I thought. They didn't have Gohan Trio though, or the brand new Go Frieza, which I thought was it was a little interesting to say the least. But that was the art book. Now to talk about the Time Attack. So if you place the top 10 in Time Attack, they gave you this box, and inside the box was actually a poster. And I kind of had it opened up a little bit beforehand, but I haven't. I put it back in the box for dramatic effect, of course. But because of that, we have the AGL Super... Whoa, it's upside down. AGL Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta with the actual Community Fest stamped on the top, and a couple of Bandai stuff on the bottom, which I thought was kind of weird, because like the other stuff, right? Like, hold on, where's like the card that I just had? I think I put it back in the bag. It doesn't matter. I could just show this, right? They don't put that on the bottom of the other things, right? It just says don't sell it. It's a property of Bandai. But this one actually has it where it's like it's a property of Bandai. Here's the symbol, and on top of it, we're gonna put the like, little black bar at the bottom. But it's just like, yeah, it was such a fun time. It was so fun meeting a lot of other cool people who just play Dokkan as well, and it's like, man, I'm not stressing because at the end of the day it was just for fun. But like I don't know, it was just a lot to take in. And then on top of that, just getting third place on the stuff as well. Like, that's forever cemented. And I know, like, I only got third, but it's just like, I don't know. It just, again, it makes me a little bit emotional that we have it where we're forever in a Dokkan tweet. They have it where... Well, not only that, but I finally got my property of Dokkan. But here, I can swap over to it for a second, and then we can swap back. Here, I think it's this one. No, it's not this one. Hold on. Is it this? Yeah. We can see here, I'm number 3. And it's like, I didn't expect to place as good as I did, and we got top 3, which it's just it was a lot to take in, to just be able to meet a lot of cool people and I don't know, it's a lot. And like I said, I didn't want to really get like too emotional. I knew because I was literally on the way home. I was talking about it in my head how I was gonna do it, but or how I was gonna talk about this, and it's just like it was nice. It was nice to have something like that, to have that experience and just be like, yeah, out of 150 people who were in the Dokkan event, I was number 3. I got podium. I got podium and a wallpaper for that. And I was saying it too because like I was I was 4th at the start of the event, and I had a pretty okay time. It was like, let me double check. Where is it? I'm trying to go through the tweets real quick that I made. Let me swap over. Let's see. I had my personal time was 6 minutes and 36, and I got immediately beat, as you could probably tell, from the final times that they showed being, where is it? That was later on. But my final time was 5:24, and a lot of the other people just got pretty close. Oh no, my final time wasn't 5:24. I remember because I started using ghost ushers at that point. But you can see here if I it was so close that if I didn't just try to switch stuff up, and I just got that one time, I would have lost. And I remember messaging Renatus, was like, help me, please. I don't know what to do. And they're like, why aren't you using ghost ushers? I was like, what? Why would I do that? And then I thought about it, and I was like, wait a minute. If I use a ghost usher, then the enemy can't attack me, so it doesn't take up as much time. But look at that. I like I said, I'm forever in a Dokkan tweet, and I'm bronze. Look at that, dude. That's me. That's me. It's so crazy. And again, it makes me emotional, but it's just like, I don't know, just being recognized as good in this game, in a sense, it's nice. The event was overall really awesome though. I've spent from like 15 minutes after it opened, because I didn't get there at the start, to the end. I stayed there for every single second of it. And I can easily say that this was probably one of my favorite days ever. I think that's about it though. Oh wait, no, hold on. I have one last thing. Was just my my tweet as well, where I showed it on the poster board. I got 3rd place as well. And again, I know it's I didn't even get first. I'm getting like, not sad, but I'm getting like I'm crying. I'm just looking at that, because I didn't even expect like Amatsu and all those producers to be there either. I figured like maybe 1 or 2 of them, but considering that they came all the way from Japan, it's actually insane. Either way though, let me know what you guys think. Thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Consider subscribing if you guys enjoy content like this. I am going to continue making Dokkan Battle content probably for the rest of my life until the game shuts down. But I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.